So anyway, so what I'm doing now is I'm just charging my phone. I have to charge my phone because it's about to die on me. So I need to go and grow myself differently, and I need to change phones as well to go and do a greater job for myself. So I'm looking to see something. I'm looking to help myself to include much more honesty in my life. I have much more better clarity in my life. And I have a different quality of life differently.
They done.
So now that's much better. And I'm learning much quicker about life over here. And what I do with that, currently now with that, I understand something over here. I need to make a new zip folder. I need to make a new zip folder with the new enhancement. With myself, helping myself to include myself over here. So I help myself to do a greater life. I do a greater life expectancy with myself over here. So what I want to do is go into my mix over here. Go into my mix, and a little bit that way I want to do the zip files of everything. I'm just going to do the zip file of this project. See a little bit that way. See the zip file. See, that's the atmosphere. See a little bit that way. See, now I have to understand something a little bit. And I want to export the zip file. And I want to make it vocal track, saxophone. I see saxophone, trumpet versions. The saxophone trumpet version. I'm learning to help myself to do better. I mean, what do you do, guys? I mean, do you understand what I'm doing? I mean, everything's different for me. I'm learning to help myself to deliver content. And that's it. I promise you must understand. I'm learning to do my best. I see also how to compensate for bad eating. I'm not saying that no matter what, you must understand that potato chips have 1 gram of protein, or 1 gram of plant protein per 100 grams. You guys can always do better than that. So I'm understanding something. I'm doing greater. See, so anyway, you guys have to understand to really give attention to everything you're doing. So you can understand straight away that you can learn to live life much greater. And that way you're doing a positive reputation for yourself. And you're enjoying yourself in the process of life. So for myself at least, I'm learning very quickly at most that I'm at most only. That I'm learning how to grow myself in the process. And that way you have to go and grow yourself. But I love looking at photos of myself and how I do fashion modeling. And I'm learning how to grow myself differently. I'm learning how to find heart in what I do. And I'm learning how to love myself in the process. So it's more how it works out. See, it works out for me, guys. So it's much more how I'm learning. So I just say Danny Milivojevic. So Danny Milivojevic. I say FT. Leo Bar. I hit the jackpot. Saxophone and trumpet mix. And just say sax and trumpet mix. I'm learning to upload my content online. Probably now, do I want to do a bass and jack version? Probably nah. Probably nah. I'm learning how to just keep it all going. Just say sax. So anyway, so it's much more how you guys need to go and grow yourself differently, and you need to love yourself differently, guys. And learn. I mean, just learn how to do your life much greater. See, anyway, it's much more how it is. And go into your photos and thumbnails, and you have to understand how it is to feel throughout life. That you're doing much greater than other people, at least. And then you're actually focusing on helping yourself to improve. I can say if you're focusing on yourself to improve, that you're at least worrying nobody except making sure that no matter what, that you're trying to improve your life. But everything you do on YouTube is for free. Just remember that. It's just for free. Now, I'm understanding that no matter what, now I'm understanding that my crowd, at least in terms of people who are watching me, can see something about me all my life. So it looks good on me. It looks good on me that I'm doing this on YouTube and stuff like that. But I'm learning very quickly about life. So anyway, so what I'm doing now is I'm focusing on helping my life to succeed, and I'm going the most affordable way. See, now I'm trusting Jesus Christ. When I say I trust in the faith of Jesus Christ, I mean, do you understand? I trust in the faith of Jesus Christ because I understand the most affordable way is the best way. So that's it. I'm understanding something. I'm understanding that I'm moving forward in my life. I'm understanding that no matter what, I'm moving forward. I'm helping myself to succeed. I'm learning, I'm growing. I'm helping myself to grow more. I'm learning very quickly about the art of doing something much greater. So what I want to do is learn to read much more. I have to learn to read much more, but I'm on my feet. And that's how I feel. I feel that no matter what, that all my stuff and all my programs and everything I have, in terms of everything that's my photos and videos of me, is something I care about. And it's something that I put on YouTube. And it's something that I also place inside of my Mega Drive. And I totally trust in the most affordable way. It's the most affordable way for me, because without Mega Drive, without Mega Drive, oh man. Then nothing sticks. Without Mega Drive, nothing sticks for me. I need to have Mega Drive all my life. Because it just makes me throw everything online somewhere into one little folder. And one little folder is all my life. You guys can check it out, always. And it's much more how it is. I promise you. But since everything's happening this way, and since new technology is coming out, and new ways of thinking and new ways of strategies are coming out, I'm understanding now that I'm passing down generations and generations to come about my family is going to watch me, because it's a new generation, isn't it? But they're going to be curious about who are their ancestors, and they're going to see me. They're going to see me. So I have faith in that. Totally. I have faith in myself over here. So no matter what, I'm learning very quickly about life. I'm learning to understand straight away. I'm helping myself to grow. So I have to send my kids to school. I have to send them to school. And while they are going to school, I'm going to 9-to-5 job. And my wife is picking up the kids from school. And it's going to be that kind of lifestyle. And that's it. Which then they're going to grow up. And I'm going to tell them, hey, start learning from me and what I do. And if you never want to, you never have to. I promise you, I let them go their own way throughout life. I teach them everything about the word I. So every single day, I'm learning very quickly. I'm learning very quickly about how to teach people all the time. So I'm understanding straight away. I come back to the word I again. I come back to the word I, and I'm learning very quickly how to have sentences in the word I as I speak the word I. So as I speak the word I, I'm looking at different aspects of the word I, and looking to understand the word I, and that's it. Unfortunately, nothing else. Unfortunately, I just understand straight away how I feel. I feel that no matter what, I'm learning very quickly about the word I. I'm learning how to actually help myself to grow. I feel socially isolated in I. But I feel I here. I feel I have I here. So no matter what, I feel that no matter what, I understand straight away what that is. I understand straight away how I feel in the word I, much more. But I'm learning every single time how to actually grow my word I. And I focus upon helping myself to have greater ways of dealing with my life. But I understand straight away how I feel in the word I now. I understand straight away how I need to go and grow in the word I. I'm learning that nice and beautiful way of life. So I'm understanding straight away how I feel in the word I. And that's how I need to go and grow myself in the word I, to feel my word I. And that's how I understand my word I, because my word I is everything to me. And that's how I feel. I'm learning from the word I daily. And I grow myself in the word I. Because that's how you guys need to live life, in the word I. Actually, just focus upon the word I. Actually, nothing else. Actually, that's how I grow. I'm learning in the word I. I'm learning how eventually, I may need to have a car. So I'm understanding something now. That in my life, at least, I'm learning how I may need to have a car eventually. And it's much more how, if my wife or mum wants me to get a car, I have to run it by my wife, and my wife has to make the decision, because it's never my decision, and I'm never making my decision unless it's just totally for myself only. But if family is included in I, then I make sure that the family has the decision, and I make sure that they make the decision about all that. So if my wife wants to have a car, then I make sure I get a car. You understand? Because I need to make the wife happy, yeah? Broshin, that's it. If your wife or husband wants a car, and you disagree with them, watch they leave your ass. Watch they leave you very quickly. Watch they no longer want to be with you. You understand? Because I understand that you can go, let's say, traveling around the world with no car, but your wife is unable to, or your husband is unable to. And they need a car to go around the world. In a sense, so you need to meet their needs. I'm learning that quickly. I'm learning that it's never my decision. Always. Always. I see it's never my decision always. In terms of always. I understand it's always my decision. But the thing is that for myself alone is what I'm talking about. I see myself alone is my decision. But when it comes to family, then you have to find yourself empathetic. And you have to find yourself on their side of things. And you have to find yourself in an agreement. So alone, you must understand this. That people want to understand something around life. I mean, talk the truth. And if you understand what they mean, or if you understand what they mean, talk it. Say it. I mean, if they say, do you have $1 million in your bank account? Say no. Say no. I'd say I have no $1 million in my bank account. But I do have $1 million in my bank account. But either way, you are telling the truth. But if you start with the word I, but either way, you're telling the truth. But if you say I'm sick, but you're telling the truth. But I'm never sick. I'm never sick. I'm never sick personally. But whatever you spit out of your mouth is the truth about you. So make sure you understand that when you find yourself with other people, then it's more about what other people want of you. And if you find yourself with no friends, it's because you chose that for yourself. And if you find yourself with friends, it's because you chose that for yourself as well. I mean, they're saying, but how? I mean, how do you find yourself with friends and how do you find yourself without friends? I promise you now, to find yourself with friends throughout life, you have to make them make the decision for you. They have to be the sole proprietor of your business. And they have to be deciding for you everything. I mean, they're saying, so let's say, for example, you're my friend. And we want to go somewhere, but I'm not sure where to go. So I will leave it up to you. You're going to say, hey, let's go over here because I understand that there's people over here. Let's go. I agree with that. I agree with you. But now we're friends, yeah? Because why? I promise you, because we both agree to go. But I make you do this decision making, and you're the one who suggests to go this place. You are the one who suggests to go to this place. I'm just the one who's following you. I'm just agreeing with you. Now, if you ask me to go, if you ask me to be the sole proprietor in the decision making, then I say, hey, make sure that you understand that it's much better for us to come back to my place so that we can have a good time learning about something. What do you want to learn? Let's learn something around life. Let's have a study session or something like that. That's what I do. Or she may say, that you never feel like studying about anything today. Or she, no worries. How about you? What do you want to do? Or she may say, hey, let's go to a beach party. Or she, I agree with you. Let's go. You're saying, I agree with you. I wanted to study, but you never want to study. I want to study always, but you never want to study. So guess what? I find myself going with you because I have to go with you to be your friend, yeah? I have to agree with you to be your friend. But the sole reason that I'm alone these days is because I disagree with them and I agree with myself. And that's it. I found myself with better friends, and that's it. But the thing is, yes, I found myself with better friends. I found myself with much more better friends in life. Because if I went with them, I promise you, it all falls apart. I promise you, guess what? I can be the most loyal friend. But eventually it falls apart with me. I promise you, eventually for me, especially for me, because I'm leaving toward Germany and I'm leaving toward my mum's family. I understand that Australia's friends and all the Australian friends I may have is going to fall apart. It's all falling apart for me. Why? Because I'm never following them. I'm never following them. And I'm following my mum's road. I'm going to my mum. I'm moving overseas. I'm going from Australia to live in Germany. So how can I have Australian friends when I'm living in Germany? So it never makes sense, yeah? So I have a new life. So the thing is, now I'm understanding what empathy is. And I understand how to have friends. I understand now, at my mum's house, I'm understanding that it's a similar situation. And the thing is, with this, I promise you now, that my wife may have friends. And through my wife, I have these friends as well. And then that's the bond. I promise you, we're sticking together, yeah. And we're going to stick together. I promise you, although for myself to make friends, I promise you, fuck no. I promise you, no way. I promise you, no way. I promise you, for myself, I understand I chose the best road. Because I never need friends in this lifetime. Except I just need myself. But my wife has friends. And now my wife has friends. And now that's the thing. I have to agree with her. I have to totally follow her. I have to follow her in life. So if she says, let's go to friends' house, let's go to Fatmira's house, or let's go to this person's house, or let's go to this person's house, I have to say, let's go. So if I say, no, I'm doing this, Russia, then she leaves, Russia, she feels left out. I mean, you understand? I can actually see that. So if my wife is in the bedroom and she's ready to snuggle with me, but I'm not there, Russia, she feels left out. So if something dies down with us, it's because I, somewhere along the road, did disagree with her. So what I want to show you is, if I follow my kids, I have to follow them all the way. Because if something happens to them, I am responsible. So what do I have to do with my sons and stuff? I am the sole decision maker for them. I'm the sole decision maker. So what I do is I try to follow them all the way. But no, I need my kids to follow me. So what I do is I make sure to help them to follow myself. I help them to follow me. Because if I follow them, I have to follow them. And that's how I understand how to be a father. Because Jesus Christ follows you, doesn't he? Jesus Christ follows the kid, doesn't he? Yes, he does. Jesus Christ follows the little kid. All the way. And that's what you need to do as well. And you need to be able to follow everybody. But the thing is, follow Jesus Christ only. So what I do now is understand straight away that when I have my son or when I have my daughter, I want to follow them all the way. So if they want to go somewhere, I have to be able to be available. I have to be the best father, yeah? And what's the best father going to do? Well, the best father is going to say, hey, let's go. I want to show you anyway about this and this and this. And then, guess what? The kid goes and jumps in the car and we're going. We're just going somewhere. And just me and my kid. Or just us and the family together. I ask my wife, do you want to come as well? Now, if she never wants to come, I feel left out. That she never wants to come. You understand? Well, I feel great, regardless of she comes or she never comes. I feel great regardless, yeah? But she left us out. You understand? And guess what? She left the kid out as well. So that's a no-brainer. So what I do is I help myself to go with the kid, at least. So if my mum wants to go somewhere, then I have to follow her. So that's decision making, yeah? So I'm understanding something now. And no matter what I'm doing, I'm learning something now. I'm learning the key differences of helping myself to succeed. That I chose the best path for myself. I chose my way and through Jesus Christ. I'm understanding that my road is the best road. And I'm having a new life. I have a new life. Totally. And I chose the best road. And I'm straight away on the best road with my mum. Right now I'm on the best road with my dad. I'm on the best road, but what does he want from me now? For sure, all he wants from me is to just be here with him. For sure, he wants me to be here with him. Because he never did kick me out. So what I need to do is I need to follow him. And to follow him is to follow his way of life. But guess what? I promise you, no, I never want to follow my dad. I never want to follow my dad. I never want to follow my mum either. I want to follow Jesus Christ. But guess what? I respect father and mother. I respect father and mother more than enough to never follow them. So what I do is I follow Jesus Christ, but I respect them to be with them. I still respect my father and mother to still be where they are. But I never follow them. I mean, in a sense, I socially isolate myself to totally be alone. I totally have to be alone in this. So what I do is I help myself to see now that no matter what, that since I'm in the case of empathy right here, I'm understanding that my dad's over there, but he's wasting time, always. Well, she's always wasting time, I promise you. Always is he wasting time. So he's never the way for me. I am the way. I am the way. As Jesus Christ said, I am the way. So no matter what, I'm teaching myself at least how to live life. And nobody can teach you this. I promise you, nobody can teach you this except yourself. You're the only person that can teach yourself. But what I do now is once I come to my mum's house, she's never the way for me either. She's never the way. But the thing is, it's a different road for me. Because I have to respect my mother here. And now, why am I going to Germany? Because I understand that Germany is the way for me. Germany is the way for me. Germany, to see my mother. To see my mother is the way for me. That's the way for me. I want to see my mother. I want to see my mother. I respect my mother. I respect my mother to see her. I promise you, yeah. She wants to see me after 5 years after 5 years of being gone from my life. She wants to see me. I want to see my mother too. So that's how we bond together now. And now we follow each other. I mean, we follow each other, but the thing is, I never follow her. I never follow her. But the thing is now, I want to show you something now. That if my mum says, hey, do this and do this and do this, I promise you now, I have to follow. I have to follow. I have to follow because now she's the boss. She's the boss of me. And why is that? Because I live with her. And she is putting rules in the house. And she says, you must be like this and like this and like this and like this for me to be happy about you. So what I need to do is I need to help myself with Jesus Christ over here, that she wants the best for me. My mum wants the best for me. But what does my mum want of me? I mean, she never wants me to travel, first of all. But the thing is, I understand that. But for myself, I understand something. I never need to travel now. I never need to travel either for myself. And now that's a personal decision. I never want to travel right now. I mean, just right now is never the time to travel right now for me. For the next month. I never want to travel for the next month. But I want to do my music production. And now, with my mum, she wants me to take medication and she wants me to do medications. And now, that's the thing. I have to accept this. I have to accept this because that's the way it is. So I have to do what they want me to do. I have to follow their way. Unfortunately, now their way is to kill me. Their way is to kill me. And they want to kill me, but they can never kill me. They would have done so already. So they want to help me. They want to help me, but they're stupid. They're very stupid because medications never help you. Anyway, they're psychiatrists. They live 6 years to go to school for university to be in $200,000 debt to give you medications because they're stupid. And now, anyway, I'll move on. And what I want to do is show you something now that I'm learning very quickly, that I'm following the guidelines. So what am I doing right here? I'm showing myself that I have to follow the guidelines, yeah? I have to follow what they want of me because it's a CTO order. And it's something that says, hey, if you never follow this, that I said, and I gave permission for them to put me in hospital. But that's something that happens behind my back. I mean, understand? Otherwise, they keep me in hospital because that's what I said in the first place. So no matter what, I gotta be that way. It's more how it's backwards. And I understand straight away, it's never backwards, it's just the way it is. But I understand straight away that no matter what, that it's the case. And I'm understanding straight away that no matter what, that once I get to my mum's house, she's going to say, do this and do this and do this and do this. And do this and do this and do this and do this and do this. And all I have to do is I accept her, accept her, accept her, accept her, accept her. And guess what? I have to accept, I have to accept, I have to accept, I accept. I accept this, I accept this, I accept this. I accept this, I accept this. And now she wants to do that for me. She's doing that for me. So she may say, Danny, I want you to sleep at 10 o'clock every single night. Oof. So she wants me to sleep at 10 o'clock every single night. So now, guess what? I have to show up for that. I have to show up and I have to show you something now. I have to show you something. I have to accept that. I have to say, I follow the rules. I follow the rules. Now, if she wants me to fall asleep at 10 o'clock every single night, I have no worries. I mean, I have no worries, but guess what? Probably it's much more how I feel. That she's the boss. So I have to accept that. So what I do is I accept that, and then I just go off and about, and I never have to fall asleep at 10 o'clock every single night. But at least I'm going to be in bed. I'm going to be in bed doing what I need to do. And I'm going to walk around doing my life. But before it even gets to that stage, I want to be very silent with her. Because I never want to get to that stage with her, where she has to say, get in bed for 10 o'clock every single night. Which that's the worst case scenario for me. For my mum to give me that kind of detention. I mean, in a sense, so what I want to do is show you this. That if I do anything, and I say, hey, Dad never gave me 10 hours. I can say, I can conflict this right now. And I can tell her, hey, Dad never done that to me. So I can say, send me back to Dad because this is what you're doing to me. But then, guess what? Probably no longer do I have my mum, I have my dad. But no longer do I have to listen to her. But that's never the case for me because I never have to do that. But I choose to listen to my mum. I choose to listen to my mum. So if she wants me to leave 10 o'clock every single night, to go to sleep at every single night, 10 o'clock in night time, in terms of in the night time, I just follow the rules. I follow the rules, yeah? Because I have a better life with my mum. I promise you. I have a better life with my mum. But she never knows that. She never knows that. She understands that she just wants me to come to hers. But she never knows that I have a better life with her. I mean, you understand? And that's how I feel. And I'm learning something in the process. So, for me, I realize my mum wants me to do medications, and my mum never wants me to travel. Fortunately, that's what she wants me to do. And that way, she wants me to do that with her. And that's all she's saying. And she allows me to travel now because she's never with me. I mean, she's never with me, but when I'll go with her, she never allows me to travel. She never allows me she never allows me to never take medications. I mean, she wants me to take medications. I mean, she wants me to have medications in my life. I'm not sure why, but she is saying to me something over here, where she's saying that she wants evidence of medications in my life. I mean, she wants me to be sick. I understand that. I understand, but this time I have to follow the rules. I have to follow her rules. And what else does she want from me? Well, she wants me to go Camino with her. So I have to go Camino with her. And now, on the Camino trip with her, with my mum, I understand that whatever's happening is, I understand I have to agree with her, and she never wants me to record her in my conversation with you. So I have to agree with that. And what else? Actually, that's it. And she wants to give sarma or food to my kid. I have to agree with that. I have to agree with that. Huh. I mean, you understand? I have to agree with that. Because that's what she is. And she wants to give herself. And she's saying she wants to give herself to my kid. And I understand that. So I'm empathetic about that too. And I can see straight away how it feels. But she never understands. I mean, she's never aware of what I said. I mean, she believes that I totally disagree with her about her giving herself to my child. But no, I never totally disagree with her. So anyway, but no matter what, I realize my other family is in disagreement with me. So what I do is I agree with them about this. And what I need to do is help myself to love myself over here. And I give them total silence when I come. And that's it. I never say a word. I never say a word. And I just look at them. Unfortunately, that's it. Unfortunately, now they're going to agree with my silence. They're going to say, where were you and how are you? Unfortunately, they're going to say something. I agree with them. And then if they say something about me saying my words, I say, I agree with you. I agree with you. Unfortunately, I agree with you. And that's it. I have to agree with them. And then they forgive me because I agree with them. And that's it. They feel shame about me doing that. They feel shame about me saying some words. Because that's how they feel. And that's when they want to talk like that. And that's it. I understand that. So what I do now is I'm learning very quickly about life. But those who never want to be with you, never agree with you. And that's how it is. So learn from that situation too. So I'm understanding now, for example, with what else is there to come by. Actually, all my life I can teach like this and much more. Actually, it's much more how I feel. Now I'm learning very quickly to just keep going. I'm learning to understand that with my mum over there, actually she wants me to do whatever it is. I have to agree with her. But then certain times she lets me be on my own. But I never follow her really. I never follow her truly. I just agree with her. I agree with what she wants from me. I agree with what she wants from me. And eventually she never wants anything from me anymore. But I never follow her. I never follow her. I never follow her decisions about me. Or she know. Or should I just accept her for how she is? I accept her, and that's all it is. I accept her. I mean, it's a piece of cake. It's a piece of cake to accept her, but are they going to accept me? Now that's the case. I can accept them. It's no worries. I can accept people, but people who never accept you, if they never accept you, they have problems with you. I can accept them. I accept them totally. I accept them, but I never follow them. I accept them. I just never follow them in terms of what I'm doing in terms of life. But guess what? I follow Jesus Christ only. So that's the case with me. So I'm understanding that no matter what, I'm learning how to never disagree. I'm understanding straight away. I accept totally who they are. If they want to be my friend today, I'm their friend. But I never follow them. I follow Jesus Christ only. I mean, you understand? So for myself, it's different. So now, for myself in terms of my wife and kids, it's much more how I feel. So I have a great life over here, and my life is different, and I have a wife and kid, and now I'm not sure what nationality my wife is, but she has some type of nationality, and I'm learning. I'm great, I'm doing great, and now maybe my mother, in terms of my mother, wants me to go one way, but my wife wants me to go the other way, and this is something that can happen. Now, this is what I do in this situation. I have to pick a side, or I just have to pick my side over this. Now, guess what? I make sure I never choose sides. I never choose sides in this. I promise you. What I do is, if my mum wants me to break up with her, but my wife wants me to break up with my mother, I'll say, no, that's you guys, and that has nothing to do with me. That means they want me to choose a side. No, I never choose a side. I never choose a side. Now, because I never choose a side, they're going to get over it. And that's it. But if I chose a side, everything falls and tumbles. Now it can happen between my family, with family and family. Never choose sides. And now I understand that with my mum, I can say she always wants me to choose her side over my other family. But I never choose sides from now on. I'm learning that. And that's something I've learnt over time. And I'm understanding that. I'm understanding that now. That no matter what, I'm learning how to never choose sides between family members. I'm learning how to never choose sides between people ever again. I mean, my mum wants me to choose my mum's side over here instead of my dad's side. And guess what? Actually, that's another one that I'm looking at now. And now I'm learning something. I'm learning that no matter what, I can never choose sides over here. I can never choose sides. But what I can do is choose a decision for myself. What's the best decision for myself? And never ever between them. So she never has anything to do with them. Or she never has anything to do with who's much better than who's much better. Or I love my dad just as much as I love my mother. But my mother is one woman who tries to get me on her side. Always. And that's the most damage she can do to me. Because she gives me the notion to come on her side. And tries to convince me to come on her side. But because I was so stupid, I pick her side of everything. I mean, you understand? I mean, that's like my mum trying to convince you to go away from Jesus Christ. I mean, just like that. But then I was a stupid one and I get away from Jesus Christ. I never get away from Jesus Christ though. I follow Jesus Christ. So make sure you understand that whatever you want to do is focus upon helping yourself to talk about God more in front of people. I understand? But make sure you understand this. Please go the silent way as much as you can. And forget them. Forget them at all. And never forget anything other than them. I mean, make sure you understand that you never forget anything. I mean, just make sure that you get away from people altogether. And go with yourself somewhere. And that's the best road. And now I want to teach you something. That now, what's the best decision for me over here? I want to show you something. That the best decision for me personally is to run away to my mum. And I'll show you something now. Shall I come back? That's my decision now. I guess what? If I come back to Australia, I'm respecting my father. But I'll show you something. If I never come back to Australia, then it means what? Doesn't mean that I am not respecting my father. I'm respecting my father. I definitely come back to Australia. I definitely come back to Australia again. And this time, I come back to Australia once I get my papers in Europe. I get my papers in Europe. I come back to Australia. I have no worries. I live with my dad for a bit more. And guess what? From that point, I go to Germany. From that point. But I only ever come back to him when he's sick. When he's sick. Now why? I have a great life with my mum. I promise you. I'd rather be with my mum than with my dad. And why is that? Why? Now, it's never to do anything with my dad. This is just a personal decision that I just make to make sure that I have the best lifestyle. And now, over here in Australia, they're going to make me work the 9 to 5. But at mum's house, I never have to work the 9 to 5. And that's why I choose to go that way. And I choose to stick around with my mum for as long as possible. to make sure that I never worked a 9 to 5. And that's the whole decision. I'm making sure I understand that. And that's just my personal decision. I mean, you understand? I'm focusing on understanding anyway that what I'm doing in life is helping myself grow. I'm learning to have myself a great time with myself, but I'm understanding that it's just the last moments with my dad over here. But no, it's never the last moments with my dad. There's still time to go. But if for some reason my mum says, hey, go back to Australia, then I have to come back to Australia, and then I start working 9 to 5. And I start working 9 to 5 and I start doing my work over here. But then what I'm doing now, from that point, is I yet again go single and I can run back to my mum to be with her, having a family over there where she is. And I want to make it clearer to my mum. I want to make sure that she understands that, because she's unaware of that. But if she becomes aware of it, if she becomes aware of this, she's going to file for me to be living with her much more. I mean, in a sense, so I have to send her a message about this, because she's unaware about this. She's unaware that I want to make kids over there in Germany. I mean, in a sense. And now I'm not sure if they're going to be German, but they're going to be German. Because my kids are German, and I understand that Germans killed my uncle. Well, Germans killed my uncle, and I'm having German kids. I'm having kids who are born in Germany. I mean, you understand? Apparently now, are my kids German? Apparently now, I'm not sure if they're German, but they're Serbian and Croatian. I'm understanding that. So maybe a mixture of German in them, I'm not sure. But we'll see. I'm learning. So that's a decision, yeah? And if I go over there with my mum, which it's the greatest lifestyle for me, personally. But if I stick around over here, I see a lot of 9 to 5 over here. I see a lone road for me, a lone road. I see money in my favour over here. I see I can travel Australia. I can travel Australia more. I can go into nightclubs. I can become a star. I can become a quick star over here. I can become a star over here in Australia. I can become popularity over here in Australia. Quickly. And that's it. And then I understand straight away I'm going like Kagalili in Australia. Because I start locally, DJing, and moving my way around the world. But I'm learning very quickly about how to do that. And I'm understanding straight away how I'm learning how people go to libraries to teach. They go to free events. They ask people for free. They go to church, from church to church to church to church. And they call themselves pastors. And they go from church to church. They go for free organizations over here and there. And they go preaching the Bible everywhere in front of people to get known in front of people. I can do that too. I have no way to say this, but I have any kind of way to say this, but anything I can do that already. I can go in front of people and preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. But I'm learning very quickly to help myself to explain much more. I'm learning something much more. I'm learning to help myself to agree. I have to agree, and I have to send my mum a message over here. And I just say to her that I'm only ever having kids in Germany. So that she says something. So what she's going to say is excellent. And I'm learning quickly. So she never sends me back to Australia. So I send her something. See, what's this? I see backup. I see never, please. I see I'm mum only ever having kids in Germany where you are. I thought I let you know. Apparently now that's it. Apparently she's aware of that now, and that way I'm unlocking a greater power, and that's it. Apparently she must understand straight away how I feel, and how I feel is different. So what I need to do now is show you guys that no matter what, I'm learning very quickly how to love my life. So I'm learning to never pick sides anymore. So now, for example, in terms of my cousin over here, when I'm saying something, I'll just show her silence and I accept her, and understand straight away that's something that I realize. That it's much more I accept it. I have nothing against her. I understand she's unaware about what she's doing. I'll move on, and she has to forgive me, and she has the same kind of frequency there, and that's the thing. So she has to forgive that, and you have to understand straight away that it's much more how I feel, that she never accepts me. So my cousin never accepts me, and that's what I'm feeling from her, but I accept her. So all I have to do is show her that I accept her. So all I have to do is when I see her, I give her a hug. And if she never wants to accept me in that moment, then I understand straight away I'm learning quickly. I'm learning something different. So all my family want me to do is accept them now, because they never wanted to accept me, but my auntie shows me that she's accepting me. But my uncle, in terms of life, I have to give him a hug. I have to give Daniela a hug, and I have to understand straight away that it's much more how it is, and it's more how I keep it that way, and I give them a hug right away, and it's much more how I feel. So no matter what, it's more how I feel to love my life. So every single time now, I'm learning how at my family's house, and now at my family's house, that's more at Antonia's house. And now that's the case. Actually, now that's something different I'm looking at. So do I want to go there? Or should I only go there if my mum goes there? Actually, is that the case for me? Actually, guess what? Actually, it's more how I feel that my mother wants to see something about me over here. And she wants to see something about me over here. And she wants to see, am I willing to go to my auntie's house alone about this situation? And I said, yeah, I can go alone. I realized now, guess what? Do I want to go alone to her? Unfortunately, no, that's the case. Unfortunately, no. I never want to go alone. I've been to her house. But why? I realized why. I realized I want to stay with my mum. Unfortunately, now guess what? I realized it's much more how I feel. And now, if I choose that, then I'm picking one side over another. But no. I'll show you something now. Unfortunately, I can go. I can go to my auntie's house to be over there. But what am I going to do there? Or should I do my business? Or actually, it's more how I feel. That I just rather go where my mum goes. I have no worries about that. Or I have no worries to see them if my mum goes. But if my mum never goes, I never want to go there. That's it. Actually, why? It's just the way I feel. I feel that way. I feel they're working. I'm alone in that house. See, my mum is always with me. I'd rather just be with my mum because she's always with me. I have a stronger reason to be with my mum over here. But my mum never explains these things to me because she's unaware of it. And now I'm understanding straight away, I'm getting on top of that. I'm getting on top of this. So I'm understanding straight away how to grow myself. So I send her another message. I send her another message over here, and I just say I'd rather be with you. I just say over here, just to update her, to just say I'd rather just be with you. I'd rather just be with you the whole time. So I only go to Antonia's house if you go, as you are more so with me. See, now a little bit that way. See, it's much more how I feel. And now she understands my reason, but guess what? I realize it's much more how I understand that. And that's how I feel. I feel different. I'm learning the different architectures of life. I'm learning something different in the process. I'm learning something different. So as I'm growing myself, I'm looking to help myself to grow with my other phone. And that's the reason, yeah. Firstly, you're more so with me, and that's it. Whereas now, if she wants me to be with Antonia, I can go with her. I can go, and guess what? Probably it's much more how I feel. And now, guess what? Probably it's much more how she may say something over here, and she may say, "Hey, I want you to go to Antonia. I want you to be over there with her for a bit." Then guess what? I gladly go. I gladly go to Antonia because I have no worries then. Because my mum then is disagreeing with me over here, so I just go over there. But if somehow Antonia says no, never come over here, probably then my mum has to say something here. And that's a conflict, but I will be that way, for sure. For sure, it's more how I feel. And I'm learning very quickly about life. So I'm actually understanding I never want to go to Antonia's unless my mum goes. And now if my mum goes, I want to go. For sure, it's much more how I feel. But if my mum's never with me in life, and now Antonia's, in terms of to go to Antonia's, probably, yeah, I can go. I can go to Antonia's and be with her. Because now she's next of kin. She's next of kin and she's different. And there's no worries about that. For sure. I just let my mum see that. I just let my mum understand that. I just say, if for some reason you are gone from this world, then yeah, I'll go to Antonia's. On my own. I'll just say yeah. I just say if for some reason you are gone from this world, then yeah, I'll go to Antonia's on my own. So I'm letting her know just these types of feelings over here. I'm helping myself to just get ahead of the content. So it's much more how I feel. Now I'm talking it out with my mum over here, so she sees by message what I'm doing. So it's much more how I'm privileging myself to talk and walk much greater. So I'm understanding straight away I have to plan my life, I have to plan this. And anyway, so I'm understanding that if two people are in conflict with each other, I never pick sides over here, and I agree with both aspects of life. And I'm the judge over here, and I'm understanding I'm just agree with you, I agree with you, I agree with you. I try to solve the problems, I try to solve in between the problems, and I try to say, hey, you are meant to do this, and you're meant to do this. And now, when you try to solve their problems, approach, you're feeding them ideas to forgive each other. And that's it. And you're convincing them to forgive each other. And that's it. Approach, never pick sides. Probably for some reason my kids never accept me, probably go away from me. Probably walk away, and that's it, and just go, and never come back. I say, walk away from me, but if you shall ever come back, the door's open. I mean, you understand? I mean, that's what I say. I mean, I just say, listen. I say, listen. You never have to walk away. But if you shall ever go away from me, the door's open for you to come back. The door's open for you to come back. I mean, what are you saying when the door's open for you to come in? I mean, you understand? I mean, leave the door open. I mean, as Jesus Christ says, that if somebody in your life is miserable or is disagreeing with you, leave the door open for them. I mean, you understand? Because that way you accept them totally. Never shut the door so they never come back to you. I mean, you understand? So it's much more how you feel. And now I'm understanding that. I'm growing in my wisdom over here. So what I'm doing now is I'm helping myself to understand straight away that with my Barker, I understand that she's agreeing with me now. I'm understanding that she's always agreeing with me. And I'm understanding I'm moving on. I never hate Barker. I never hate anybody. I love everything, only. I never hate anything. Unfortunately now, I'm understanding straight away that you must understand. I see Barker's with me over here. I thank you. And Barker means my baba, or my grandmother, is with me. Because she did pass away recently. And I'm learning how to understand that she passed away recently. So, and it's all how it is. So my word eye is here. And I'm understanding straight away how I feel. So no matter what, I'm learning how to have that nice beautiful tone going, and it's much more how I feel. So no matter what, I'm learning very quickly about life. I'm learning to help myself to grow, and I'm learning to help myself to reconcile in better ways. So what I want to do is now just enjoy myself, but what I'm actually doing now is helping myself to rule over my world, and a little bit that way. Actually, it's much more how I feel. And I want to go see if my dad is asleep or is he awake or what's going on. I don't know. I want to see what's going on with him. Actually, he's gone to sleep. And then be. I can see straight away how I feel. So give people silence. So no matter what, I'm learning very quickly about my life now. So as I'm actually understanding something now, I'm understanding that no matter what, that these people over here in Sydney, Australia, need to grow up and they need to understand straight away myself and how I live my life. So I do better, and so I do a greater job.